right. Hey, so we are live during period two. We're going to talk a little bit about area and circles and sectors. We're just going to kind of start into this here. The very first idea is the area of a circle. That is A equals, let me get my actual pen here. A equals pi r squared, where r is the radius of the circle. So you've probably seen this before. It's different than the circumference. The circumference was 2 pi r. This is our area. A lot of what we're doing is very similar to what we did in the previous section with circumference and arc length, finding area of a circle, finding area of a sector, so forth. So let's take a look at example 1 here. Find each indicated measure. We've got the area of a circle with a radius of 0.5 centimeters, and then it says the diameter of a circle with an area of 113.1 square centimeters. So let's start out with letter A. First off, I'm going to rewrite that formula. Pi r squared. I've got a circle, and my radius is 0.5. And I want to find out what my area is. So I'm going to say A is equal to pi times 0.5 squared. I'm going to plug that into my calculator. I'll end up with approximately 19.65. And I've got to make it known that whenever I do these types of area problems, I have to label. And it's always going to end up, if you're finding area itself, it's going to be centimeters squared. If you're finding like radius, it's just going to be centimeters. But area is always has the little square symbol to it. Questions at all? It's a straight plug and chug. On the next one, we're going to do something similar, but since we're solving for diameter, we're going to find our radius first, and then we'll multiply by 2. That way we can find out what the diameter is. So on letter B, I've got a circle. The area, whole entire area of the circle is 113.1 centimeters square. So in my formula, A is going to be 113.1 pi r squared. I need to find diameter. And remember, D is equal to 2 times my radius. So off to the side, I'm just going to make a note of that. I had a question, aren't we using 0.5 as the radius? These are actually 2 separate problems. So the 0.5 from the previous one, this is a good question. The 0.5 from the previous one is not necessarily what we're going to use for letter B. So in order to solve, I'm going to first divide this by pi, because I want to get pi out of the way. So 113, you could either say pi or 3.14, 113.1 divided by 3.14 will give us approximately 36. I'm going to square root both sides. The square root of 36 is 6. So I found my radius. Now, if I want to find my diameter, I just have to multiply that by 2. So 2 times 6, and my diameter is going to be 12 centimeters. Since I found diameter and I didn't find area, it's just centimeters, not centimeters squared. Okay. Questions at all on using area? Yes. Did you do point? So if you're having trouble with letter A and plug it into your calculator, do 0.5 squared first and then hit enter, and then multiply that by the the 3.14. So 0.5 squared times 3.14 And that should give you, oh, you know what? My answer is incorrect, right? Because it says 0.5. I apologize. Thank you for clearing that up for me. Letter A. I make mistakes too. My answer, you guys got to call me out on this. 0.785. Yeah. Nothing wrong with your calculator. Totally on me. Okay. Should have been 0.785. I apologize. I think whenever I plugged in, I must have forgot the decimal originally. It just created some weird number. All right. Questions at all on A or B? You guys are not crazy if you got 0.785. All right. Take a look at some new key terms. So previously, whenever we were talking about circumference, we had a formula for arc length, which is just a small piece, and we said the degree divided by 360 times the circumference formula. This is very similar, where it's area, it's the degree divided by 360 times the area formula will give us that sector. So this the ratio of the area of a sector of a circle to the area of the whole circle is equal to the ratio of the measure of the intercepted arc to 360. So there's two ways that you can do this type of problem. You can either one area of a sector over pi r squared equals the measure of the angle over 360 and cross multiply. I usually prefer the second. Area of the sector is equal to the degree of the arc over 360 times pi r squared. It's the same exact thing that we did before. We're just substituting out 2 pi r with pi r squared. Okay. So if you take a look at this, it says find the area of the sector formed by angle UTV. So it's looking for, because it says UTV, we're looking for find the area of the sectors formed by UTV. It says angle UTV. You know what? I apologize. We're going to be looking for this sector here. So we're going to say that we have 70 over 360. And then we're going to multiply that by our area formula, which is pi times our r of 8 squared. So the way that we're doing this is the angle measure divided by 360 times pi r squared. So now in my calculator, I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to say 70 divided by 360, enter, times pi times 8 squared. And double check me on this. I got 39.1 rounded. 39.1. Okay, so 39.1 inches squared. Questions at all on how to find the areas, the sector? All right. All right, example number 3, a center pivot. So let's talk a little bit about real life scenario. A center pivot irrigation system consists of a sprinkler equipment that rotates around a central pivot point to irrigate a circular region. Find the area of circle C. Okay. So it gives us the pieces. We got to find out the whole entire area. So first off, I'm going to write down what I know. I know that an angle over 360 times pi r squared is equal to 67,000. Oh, that's right. So I'm going to plug this in. This angle here is going to be 48 because that's what they've given us. So I need to solve this for r. I'm going to solve for r. Okay. I need to find the area of the whole entire circle. Okay. So think of this. I'm going to multiply it by 360 because I need to eliminate 360. 360 times 67,000. So I end up 24120,000 equals 48 pi r squared. Now here's the deal. I said originally that I need to solve for r. In reality, I need the whole entire area of circle C. Isn't area pi r squared? So technically, if I can just solve it and get this by itself, I have the area of circle C. Divide by, since it's multiplication, let's divide by 48. So divide by 48, and I'll get 502,500, and that'll be my area of circle C. This will be in meters squared. Done. I don't have to worry about going through a lot of stuff to find, just solve for r. If I know that pi r squared is equal to the area of a circle, then I can just divide by that 48 and get my answer. Questions at all on example 3? Yeah. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. You're just doing it a little backwards, but yeah, that's fine. All right, last example here that I have for you today. A rectangular wall has an entrance cut into it. You want to paint the wall. What's the area of the region you need to paint? Okay. How can you find this out? First off, let's take a look at the full square. Does anyone remember the area of like a rectangle? Length times width. Okay, so area is equal to length times width. So why don't we start off with that? Area is equal to 36 times 26. If you notice, this whole entire thing here is 26. Whoa. So 36 times 26, 936. Thank you. So 936 feet squared. Next up, we want to find the area of the smaller rectangle. Okay, so we've got this smaller rectangle that's it's actually square, 16 by 16. 16 by 16. This is the small inside square. 16 by 16 is good. So 256 feet squared. And then we also need the small semicircle. So area is, now if this is 16 feet, this is pi times 8 squared. Diameter 16, that means this is 8 and this is 8. We also need to, because it's a semicircle, we'll need to divide this by 2. So So 64, 8 squared is 64 times pi divided by 2, give us 100.5. So we found the whole entire big rectangle. We found the small inside square, and we found the semicircle. So what do I need to do in order to find the area that I need to paint? Yep. Perfect. So I take the 936, the total area of everything, and I'll subtract the 256, which is a small inside square, and the 100.5, which is a small semicircle. Because that's the part that you walk through, you're not going to paint it. So you're literally just cutting it out of your painting. I got 579.5. Okay. So 579.5 feet squared.